Hey guys, Furum here, and today I'm going to be showing you the Techrules AT96 at 6 stars in multiplayer in Asphalt 9. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and enjoy the video. So my AT96 is at 4 stars, I have a video about that if you would like to see it, and these races are given to me by RPM Fra, whose channel I will link in the description. These races were recorded in the Legendary Showdown season, which pitted the Techrules AT96 up against the W Motors Fenner Supersport, and so we're going to see a lot of races in this video against 6-star Fenners in this 6-star AT96, so we'll really get to see how the two cars at max do against each other, because in my 4-star AT96, I was definitely at a disadvantage against the maxed Fenners, and I do still believe that the maxed Fenner is a better car for multiplayer than the maxed AT96, but Fraud does a really good job here in driving this car against these faster Fenners. And this also supports our conclusion that the Techrules AT96 is in fact the new best A-class multiplayer car. If you guys watched my best and worst cars in each class list, we put this car at number 3 in the events list behind the Aperta and Aculone, but in the multiplayer list it was at number 1. And the reason for that is because it has the fastest acceleration in Class A, so it can get up to its speed very quickly. It has a very good drifting and capability to keep its speed, and is generally a very reliable, stable, and easy to drive car, meaning that it should do very well in multiplayer. And given that in so many of these races it does so well against this much faster Fenner, this S-Class car that can go 35 miles per hour faster, I think it's pretty safe to say that yes, this is definitely a really good multiplayer car, especially for A-Class. Now for a really close race between RPM Farah and RPM Alex, who is himself in another Techrules AT96. I was able to download the new Asphalt 9 Porsche update on Windows earlier today, so it is now out for all platforms, and I will probably make a video about all of the new additions and changes in this update within the next few days or so. There are a lot of new things to cover, and I'd like to see how the Legend Pass and all of that stuff play out for the next couple of days before making a video about it. Also, I do not have the stats of the cars at max yet, so I would like to get those. So you can expect a video about that coming very soon, but there are a couple things I would like to mention now before then. So first of all, the big controversial thing coming in this update, which is the Season Pass. Now let me clear up a couple of misconceptions about that first. A lot of people are thinking that there is only one Season Pass that you have to buy, and in reality, there is one that everybody can play through. There is a free one that you do a certain number of missions for to get these new things called legend points to go up in the tiers to get some rewards. So there is one for free-to-play players. Now, there is still one called the Legend Pass in particular, which is a $10 thing that you can buy, which gives you many more rewards in each tier than the standard free Season Pass does. Now, this gives you such things as 3 extra fuel per car, a daily free ticket refill, and a 3-star exclusive car, which is presumed to be the Taycan, among other things. You can look in the game if you want to see everything that offers. Then there's also this $30 thing, which automatically unlocks for you, apparently, all of the first 15 tiers of the Legend Pass. Now, the thing that infuriates me about these Legend Passes is that they are 100% pay to win. They give you things that you cannot get in the game other than spending real money. You can't get a free ticket refill in any other way. You can't increase the fuel capacity of your cars in any other way, so only players that put money into the game will be able to have these things. So far in Asphalt 9, I do not believe there has been anything that is impossible to get without spending real money. Now, obviously, there are things that cost tens of thousands of tokens, like the Jesco event, but there are people who have saved up tens of thousands of tokens. At one point myself, I had 22,000 tokens. It's possible for free-to-play players, even though it does require a lot of time dedication. But this new Legend Pass, it costs real money, not tokens. Now, if it were something that cost the equivalent amount of tokens as that money would buy, I would be okay with that, because then it would be just like anything else in the game that you could use tokens to buy, and if you wanted to, and only if you wanted to, you could spend real money to get tokens for those. Now, this $10 for the Legend Pass equates to 220 tokens if you were to buy tokens with with those $10. And if they were to have it be tokens instead, it would be a lot more tokens, obviously. But still, I believe that 99% of players would be much more happy with that than this now completely pay-to-win way of getting some of these new things. Now that I've got that mini rant out of the way, we can get back to the races at hand. So both people in this race wrecked at the exact same point back there, but because Fra was able to spin on that ramp back there, he was able to get up to speed a bit quicker, allowing him to pull ahead again. The other guy in this race is another 1896. I do not know what star he was at, but he did come in number 1 in whatever bracket he was in because I could see the orange and black decal on him. He's probably maxed as well because he's keeping up with Fra very nicely. Although I wish that the first place guy got all of the decals for the second and third place, for example. It is kind of interesting to know in multiplayer when somebody's using a decal for this car exactly what place they came in their bracket. Now coming in the update, there's going to be 2 new Grand Prix for the 2 new Porsche race cars. In Asphalt's patch notes that they posted on Facebook, we got to see them, and the decals for the first, second, and third place are going to be exactly the same, except one will say 1, one will say 2, and one will say 3 on it. I believe this is a really good way to do it, where all the decals look the same, so you don't have to try to get like a certain place. Like I was trying to get the third place because I knew I wasn't going to get first and I didn't like the second place decal. This allows people to try their very best, not worry about the decal, and just have on the side 1, 2, or 3, which most people honestly aren't probably going to see in a race. A few other changes that are going to be coming that I will go into more detail in the update video are that now in some of the packs that you get at the end of the final rounds, you may have a chance of getting the key for the car. So it might not just be only 3 out of 20 people that end up getting it. And they made it so that only the top 25% of brackets are actually going to have the top 3 players getting the key anyway, because this is their response to people just drifting around the track and then making it to the final rounds and then doing really well and obliterating everybody because they got with people who did poorly in the previous rounds because they purposely did poorly. So the top 3 players in the 75th percentile and above will get the car, the top 2 players in the 50th to 74th percentile will get it, and then in the lower 50%, only the top 1 will get it. Of course, these are the guaranteed keys. I do not know what the rate is for getting keys in those packs, but I assume it will be pretty low, but yeah, there's still a possibility to get it through those. As more information comes out about this stuff, I'll be able to make a more informative video about these new changes. So this race here is another really close one against a 6-star Fenner. The 6-star AT96 and the 6-star Fenner, when both driven by skilled drivers, can do some pretty good damage in multiplayer. The Fenner has much better top speed and a little bit better nitro efficiency, whereas the AT96 has a bit better acceleration and quite a bit better handling and drifting capabilities. Now, I noticed something strange. In the A-Class Elite event that is running at the moment, you can't actually play in this AT96. I hope you can later. Fra flat spins off this ramp and takes Pro Maelstrom with him, allowing him to come in first place after a very close race. So you guys probably know about the Welcome to the Jungle season that is going on right now, and that thing is a bit crazy. You can use any car you want as early as you want, so you can use a Sheeran in your first race in the season if you would like to. It is slipstream, knockdowns are on for the entire race, even in the first 10 seconds, there is no ghosting, it is literally a jungle of a multiplayer season. And what I did was I started at the very beginning and played one race in every single one of the 77 cars I own, recorded all of them, and am going to make a video condensing all of those into my journey, and I even made a cool graph showing my going up and down, and it's pretty cool. You guys should look forward to that. So now it's time for my general review about this car. Its biggest strength is its acceleration, probably followed by its very good drifting and handling capabilities, and its top speed and nitro are decent as well. Being at the very top of the A-Class multiplayer list and very close to the top of the A-Class event list, I would say that this car was definitely a worthwhile pickup in the Grand Prix event. Especially if you hadn't had the Genti, Huera, or Aperta maxed already, and if you're able to get this one with a relatively low number of tokens. And RPM Fra once again takes the victory. Thanks to him for these races, and thank you all for watching. Please like the video if you have enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt and other games content, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!